okay? The average Angel Reese game is 10,100, 10,200. They come to watch her. You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300.
$1 million, something like that?
Right there. Look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase. Compared to the average game is 76.45. And to Angel Reese, it's only 10,000 people. Can you pull up what Caitlin Clark just got? What is the Nike contract with Caitlin Clark? Nike contract, $28 million is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA is paying Caitlin Clark $28 million. Good for freaking you. By the way,
What do LeBron James and Caitlin Clark have in common? They both made waves in their leagues from the moment they started as rookies. But while LeBron was welcomed with open arms, Clark's journey has been a bit more complex. So why are some WNBA players resisting the Caitlin Clark effect? The answer might surprise you.
I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right. From anyone that's, you know, in sports that's flown commercial or flown, you know, charter, that should be celebrated. And it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go.
Let's take a look at Clark's record-breaking performance. Her impact was unreal. WNBA attendance soared, and TV ratings reached new heights. It's like she turned on a spotlight, and now everyone's tuning in to women's basketball. But here's the twist. Not everyone in the league is thrilled about it.
This lady on First Take yesterday upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years, and she's calling him out. And it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that.
We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
Okay, she's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist?
God.
If that was a white girl,
white supremacy,
a black rookie. Well,
you're probably wondering, why wouldn't everyone be excited? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. Clark's rise is a huge moment for women's basketball, but it's also stirring up some friction. A few players aren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat, and the league seems unsure about how to handle this rising star. So what's really happening behind the curtain? Let's dig into the details.
She's going to face a level of racism from black players, and she's going to face a level of hostility from lesbian players because she's not on team LGBTQ. She's a Catholic. She's got some boyfriend. She's going to walk into an extremely hostile environment. And so when it was Tiger Woods walking into a hostile environment of the PGA Tour, we talked about it, we covered it. We covered it sympathetically. We criticized the people that were against Tiger Woods. As it relates to Caitlin Clark, who could come and make the WNBA far more relevant.
Let's get into the stats. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up impressive numbers, she's putting up jaw-dropping ones. But the real question is, why are these record-shattering performances causing such waves in the WNBA? It's more than just scoring. It's about what these stats might mean for the future of the league. Here's a standout. Clark is hitting 62.7% of her shots within 5 feet, making her the top guard in 2-point field goal percentage. That's not just solid, it's elite. And it's not just her shooting that has people talking. Clark's playmaking skills are next level. She broke the WNBA rookie record with 232 assists. 232. Just think about what that does for a team. It's like she's always a step ahead, finding her teammates for easy buckets. But what really stands out is that Clark's style isn't just impressive, it's game-changing. People are already comparing her to NBA greats like Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, and Steph Curry. These comparisons aren't thrown around lightly. These are some of the most versatile and revolutionary players in basketball history. Clark's ability to command the court, her vision, and her deep shooting range are putting her in a class of her own. You're probably thinking, sure, she's amazing, but how does this change the league? Well, buckle up. The Caitlin Clark effect is massive. The Atlanta Dream just set a record for the largest crowd at a WNBA game in Georgia, with 7,176 fans packing the arena to see Clark in action. That's more than just a crowd, it's a statement. And it's not a fluke. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team, has gone from being barely on TV to being a must-see. Last season, they had just one nationally televised game. This season, 36 out of 40 games are on national broadcast. That's a complete 180, all thanks to Clark.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with? Now, I'm not going to put A'ja Wilson in there. I'm just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is.
Let's zoom out for a second. Clark's influence goes way beyond stats and TV ratings. She's changing the entire perception of women's basketball. Every time she steps on the court, it feels like an event, with millions of fans tuning in. One game drew in 2.2 million viewers, a number that's almost unheard of for the WNBA. But it's not just about the viewership, it's the way she plays. Clark's shooting range is redefining the women's game, hitting shots from distances that were once considered out of reach. It's like she's playing on a different level, making the impossible look routine.
Caitlin Clark now has the rookie record, the history of the WNBA, as she's now going to try to set the all-time record.
But here's the kicker. Clark's success isn't just changing individual games, it's reshaping the entire women's basketball scene. She's become more than just a standout player. She's a full-blown phenomenon. Every record she breaks and every crowd she pulls in is stretching the boundaries of what's possible for women in sports. You'd think everyone would be cheering her on, right? Well, not exactly. Her meteoric rise is sparking some real drama in the WNBA. Some players are feeling overshadowed and it's creating tension. Angel Reese didn't hold back when she said people aren't just watching women's basketball because of one person, it's because of me too. That comment says it all. The tension is real.
Which nobody was talking about the WNBA just in a joking manner. She has made the WNBA and they hate it. What's the girl, PBD? The number one draft of last year. Was it last year?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was talking crap about her. She's like, it's not just her. What about me?
It's not just about bruised egos, though. Clark's intense, aggressive style of play is really shaking things up on the court. Remember when she got hit with a technical foul for punching the basket in frustration? Most players might have been thrown off by that, but not Clark. Instead, she thanked the ref, saying it fired her up to play even harder. That kind of fierce competitive spirit is exactly what's sending shockwaves through the league and keeping everyone on their toes.
This company, this corporation called the WNBA, is not profitable. They don't make money. They've never made money. They're fully subsidized by their daddy, the NBA. The NBA generates $10 billion a year, and they basically give tzedakah or tithing to the WNBA. They say, all right, you're doing good. And I'm all for girls doing their thing, playing sports, okay. But they don't put what you call at the big event, butts in seats. And I get they're shoving Caitlin Clark down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great. They're going to market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole.
You might be thinking, is this just about basketball, or is there something deeper going on? Turns out this debate is touching on bigger issues like race and gender in sports. Some argue the backlash against Clark is just pure jealousy, while others feel it's shining a light on deeper societal challenges. So what's really going on? Is Clark's rise good or bad for the WNBA? Well, it's a bit of both. On one hand, you've got players like Angel Reese who feel like their hard-earned contributions are being overlooked. They've been grinding for years, and then Clark comes in as a rookie and takes center stage. It's easy to see why that might sting.
Anywhere. And I think she is going to literally turn this thing around, not because of the stupid controversial bump, but bro, people are selling out to watch this girl play.
On the flip side, some see Clark as a rising tide that could lift everyone's boat. Her star power is drawing more eyes to the league than ever, bringing in more fans, TV deals, and revenue. In the long run, this could be a huge win for the league as a whole. What's especially intriguing is that this tension isn't just stirring up drama. It's also sparking important conversations about equity and representation in women's sports. People are starting to ask tough questions about who gets the spotlight and why. Think about it. When was the last last time women's basketball grabbed this much attention. Clark's influence is making everyone rethink how we view the sport. She's not just changing the game on the court, she's shifting the entire conversation about women's athletics.
I'm curious about, which you said when we had the conversation a couple months ago. Guys, she's going to make nothing. She's going to make the minimum wage. Great.
She makes $73,000 a year, but her contract from Nike.
But it's going to change. It's going to change because they had more people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers. Did you hear about this? When you get people butts and seats, pay for people changes, cash flow changes. So you're right.
Let's be honest, change is tough, especially when it happens so quickly. Some players feel like they're getting overshadowed, and that's a legitimate concern. The real challenge now is figuring out how to celebrate Clark's success while still recognizing the accomplishments of other players. Just when it seemed like the WNBA was in the middle of an internal crisis, a surprising twist emerged. What if the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark is exactly what the league needs? The WNBA has been struggling financially for years. You might be wondering, how bad could it be? Well, it's pretty serious. The league's been losing about $50 million a year. That's no small issue, it's a major crisis. But here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark might just be the game changer the WNBA has been waiting for.
Prior to win a tournament. And so people need to see, I think history is repeating itself, and Caitlin Clark could be raising the tide and lifting all boats. And I think Angel Reese needs to take a pill because there is a great opportunity here, and I think jealousy is reigning supreme here.
Vinny.
Let's crunch some numbers for a moment. Clark isn't just popular, she's a full-blown phenomenon. Remember that game against the Atlanta Dream? It drew a record-breaking crowd of 7,576 fans. That's more than just a big turnout. It's a game-changing statement. People are flocking to see her play, and that's bringing in some serious revenue for the league. But it's not just about the ticket sales. Clark's influence extends well beyond the court. Her team, the Indiana Fever, has seen a staggering 225% increase in corporate partnerships. That's not just growth, it's an explosion of interest, all thanks to one rookie. Now, you might be curious about how this affects the other players. That's where it gets really intriguing. Clark isn't just drawing attention to herself. She's also putting the spotlight on the whole league. And with that spotlight comes some uncomfortable truths about player salaries.
I think, I don't think the WNBA is ready for this type of attention that she's bringing to them. That attitude, there was another player that was crying after a regular season game. And you said the R word, Tom. I don't know why you were blocking it. Racism. Everybody's talking about, like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, which we'll get into, Pat, after we go. He's just going on these panels and going, you know what? First he's bashing Trump, and then he goes into Caitlin Clark, and she's... everything about her is white, and he's going on these anti-white race things about her and how black personalities would be more successful if they were white. It's unattractive. It's making this victimhood mentality.
And she's been a magnet in a way that has benefited the league in ways that others have not, even though their efforts have been worthy and deserving of being as celebrated, if not even more celebrated. And it's a reminder that no matter how far we believe that we have advanced as a society, there's still such a long way to go. Because in the end,
look, this guy's embarrassing, bro.
You're bright, you're right, and as a result, the shine comes your way in the eyes of a lot of people.
Clark's been vocal about the need for better pay in the WNBA, and the numbers make her point crystal clear. Her rookie salary, a modest $76K. But her endorsement deals, those are worth millions. That's a huge gap, and it's sparking discussions about the true value of women's sports. Here's the twist. Clark's success isn't just highlighting the issue, it's also paving the way for change. With all the attention she's bringing, there's more pressure than ever to boost player salaries, and with increased fan interest, sponsorships, and TV deals, the WNBA might finally have the resources to make those changes a reality. Speaking of TV deals, let's dive into visibility. Last season, the Indiana Fever had only one nationally televised game. This season, they've got 36 out of 40 games on national broadcast. That's not just a small increase, it's a complete turnaround, and it's all due to the Caitlin Clark effect. But it's not just the Fever feeling the impact. Clark's popularity is boosting the entire league. With more eyes on the games, there's more ad revenue, more merchandise sales, and greater opportunities for growth. It's like her success is setting off a ripple effect that benefits everyone in the league. Now, you might be wondering, this all sounds fantastic, but what about the tension we mentioned earlier? Well, here's where it gets even more intriguing. Sure, there's been some pushback, and some players do feel overshadowed, but all this drama, it's actually keeping the WNBA in the spotlight. And in the sports world, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
It's like enough with the racist BS. She's nasty. She knows how to ball. Everybody else is jealous. They're pissed off because you're getting this, like, it's ridiculous. And we're never going to advance as a species, and we're never, if he keeps having that type of attitude. It's ridiculous. It's like, what? Everything has to go back to race. Everything has to keep going back to race. She's really good. Let it be that.